The family whose children vanished in the fire. On Christmas Eve, 1945, the Sauter family went to sleep believing the worst thing that could happen that night was bad weather. They were wrong. George and Jenny Sauter lived in Fayetteville, West Virginia, in a modest 2-story house. George was a hard-working man, an immigrant who had built a good life from nothing. Jenny was a devoted mother. Together, they had 10 children. On December 24th, most of the kids stayed up late, excited for Christmas morning. Around 10:30 p.m., George reminded them to turn off the lights and go to bed. By midnight, the house was quiet. At 1 a.m., Jenny was jolted awake by the sound of something hitting the roof. She listened. Silence followed. She assumed it was a falling branch or debris from the wind. She went back to sleep. Less than an hour later, she woke again, this time to the smell of smoke. When she opened her bedroom door, the hallway was already on fire. The staircase was gone, the phone line was dead, and 5 of her children were still upstairs. The fire that shouldn't have been possible. George rushed outside and tried to climb to the second-floor window. The ladder usually kept against the house was gone. His 2 trucks, which he planned to use to reach the windows, would not start. Both had been working perfectly the day before. Neighbors later said they saw a man stealing the ladder and hiding it nearby. But at the time, George didn't know that. All he knew was that the fire was spreading too fast. Within 45 minutes, the entire house collapsed. 5 children were presumed dead. But when the fire department finally arrived 7 hours later, something was very wrong. There were no remains, not a single bone, not even fragments. The fire chief told the family that the heat must have completely cremated the children. But George Sauter knew fires. He had worked around them his entire life, and he knew that even the worst house fires do not burn human bodies completely. Later, a coroner quietly admitted something chilling. Bones should have been found. The threats before the fire. As the shock faded, George began remembering things he had brushed off before. Months earlier, a strange man had visited the house offering electrical work, and he warned George that the fuse box was dangerous. Another man came by selling life insurance. When George refused, the man became angry and said, "Your house is going to burn down and your children are going to be destroyed." George thought it was just an insult. Now, it felt like a promise. The phone call that never made sense. The night of the fire, Jenny remembered something else. At 12:30 a.m., shortly before the fire, she had received a phone call. The caller was a woman she didn't recognize. In the background, she heard laughter and glasses clinking. When Jenny said she had the wrong number, the woman laughed and hung up. Later, investigators confirmed that the phone line had been deliberately cut. That call could not have happened unless someone was already interfering with the house. No footprints, no ashes, no answers. Searches were conducted, nothing, no teeth, no skull fragments, no clothing. Only household items were found, some still partially intact. George did something that shocked the town. He bulldozed the site, not to hide evidence, but to preserve it. He wanted to stop anyone from disturbing what little remained. The Sauters refused to accept the official explanation. They believed their children had been taken. The sightings that wouldn't stop. Over the years, reports came in. A woman claimed she saw the children in a car the night of the fire. A waitress in Charleston said she served breakfast to 5 children, matching their description the next morning. A hotel worker in Kentucky said the children were staying with 2 men who spoke Italian, the same language George spoke. Then came the letter. In 1968, 23 years after the fire, Jenny received an envelope in the mail. Inside was a photograph. On the back, written in careful handwriting, "Louis Sauter, I love, Brother Frankie Ilil, boys, a 90132 or 35. Louis was the oldest child believed to have died in the fire. The man in the photo looked older but unmistakably similar. A private investigator traced the letter to Kentucky. Then he vanished. No final report, no explanation, just silence. The billboards that refused to come down. For decades, the Sodders kept a massive billboard on Route 16. It showed photos of the 5 missing children. Below it were the words, "Where are our children?" George and Jenny wore black for the rest of their lives. They never celebrated Christmas again. Jenny slept with the lights on every night until the day she died. The question that still haunts investigators: if the children died in the fire, where are the bones? If they were taken, who took them and why?